Look out your window. What do you see? Neighbors walking their dogs? Delivery trucks making rounds? The comforting rhythm of everyday life? Enjoy it while it lasts, because the world you know is far more fragile than you think. It hangs by a thread, a supply chain stretched too thin, a power grid one surge away from darkness, a society just 3 missed meals away from anarchy. We live in a bubble of convenience. We tap a screen, and food arrives. We flip a switch, and light floods the room. But what happens when the screen stays dark? What happens when the switch does nothing? History isn't just a record of the past, it's a warning. Empires crumble, systems fail, and when the collapse comes, it won't announce itself with a trumpet blast. It will arrive as a whisper, a shortage here, a blackout there, until suddenly the silence is deafening. Panic is a powerful contagion. When the shelves are bare, the polite facade of civilization strips away, revealing something primal and desperate. You don't want to be the one fighting for the last can of beans. You don't want to be the one wondering how you'll feed your family tomorrow. The window for preparation is closing. The clock is ticking down to 0. You have a choice: remain asleep or wake up and secure your future. These are the 12 items you must stockpile before the lights go out forever. 1 verse securing safe hydration. Let's be blunt, your comfortable life is a fragile illusion. When things fall apart, your priorities will narrow to the brutally simple. Before food, before safety comes water. You can last weeks without eating, but you'll be dead in 3 days without water. The idea that you can just turn on a tap and have clean, safe water is a modern luxury that will vanish almost instantly. Within 72 hours of a major societal disruption, the treatment plants that purify your water will cease to operate. The pipes will run dry, or worse, deliver a cocktail of contaminants straight to your home. Every drop you find will become a potential death sentence. Thinking you can just drink from a stream or collect rainwater without treating it is a fatal mistake. Even the clearest-looking water can be teeming with microscopic killers like Giardia, E. coli, and cholera, which will incapacitate you with severe illness when you can least afford it. Your survival depends on your ability to make unsafe water drinkable. This isn't a suggestion, it's a command. The most accessible and efficient tools for this are water purification tablets. For just a few dollars, you can get a pack that treats dozens of liters of water. They are small, lightweight, have a 5-year shelf life, and require no special knowledge to use. For a more sustainable solution, a portable water filter like a life straw is non-negotiable. A single $20 filter can purify 1,000 liters, providing one person with safe drinking water for nearly a year. It's a cheap investment that pays dividends in life. You should also have unscented household bleach with 6% sodium hypochlorite on hand. Just 8 drops can disinfect an entire gallon of water. A $3 bottle that sits forgotten under your sink today will be worth more than gold when your life is on the line. Stop assuming the system will save you. Learn to identify viable water sources and, more importantly, have the tools ready to purify every single drop. 2 minds. Mastering the flame. Fire is a fundamental tool of human survival, and your ability to create it on demand will determine whether you live or die. In a world without electricity, fire is your source of warmth, preventing hypothermia on a cold night. It's the means by which you boil water, killing the pathogens that would otherwise gut you from the inside out. It cooks your food, making it safe to eat and easier to digest. It can be a beacon to signal for help or a weapon to keep predators, both animal and human, at bay. The psychological comfort of a crackling fire in a dark, silent world cannot be overstated. It provides light, a sense of security, and a focal point for morale. To neglect this basic skill is to invite disaster. Relying on a single method for creating fire is foolish. You need redundancy and reliability. Forget about rubbing 2 sticks together. You need modern, dependable tools. Start with ferrocerium rods, often called fire steels. For less than $15, you get a tool that produces a shower of 3,000-degree sparks, works when wet, and is good for over 12,000 strikes. It's a nearly indestructible piece of gear that will outlast you. Back this up with a bulk supply of disposable lighters. They are cheap, universally understood, and incredibly effective. 50 lighters might cost you $20, a trivial sum for a tool that will be a prime barter item in a collapsed economy. To ensure you can get a flame going in any condition, you need reliable tinder. You can make your own by coating cotton balls in petroleum jelly. Each one costs pennies, will burn for several minutes even in damp weather, and is completely waterproof. Create dedicated fire-starting kits in waterproof containers and distribute them among your gear. Your kit isn't complete without a fire steel, multiple lighters, and a generous supply of tinder. Practice using them now, before your hands are numb from cold, and your life depends on it. 3. The unseen killer. Filth. When society collapses, people won't just die from violence or starvation. They will die from filth. A lack of basic sanitation is a silent and efficient killer, unleashing a wave of infections and diseases that your ancestors battled for centuries. Conditions that are minor inconveniences today, like a urinary tract infection or a simple skin rash, will become life-threatening without access to clean water and basic hygiene supplies. Gastrointestinal diseases will spread like wildfire through contaminated environments, incapacitating entire groups of people. Forgetting to stockpile hygiene items is not an oversight, it's a fatal error in judgment. History has shown us that in times of crisis, from economic collapse in Venezuela to war zones, toilet paper becomes a currency of its own. Its value for morale and sanitation is immense. Your stockpile must prioritize the basics. Bar soap is non-negotiable. An $8 pack of 12 bars is a cheap investment in disease prevention. When water is too scarce to be used for washing, hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol becomes critical for disinfecting your hands. You must also account for the needs of everyone in your group. Feminine hygiene products are not optional. They are an absolute necessity for half the population and are consistently overlooked in preparedness plans. Dental hygiene is another critical area. A tooth infection can lead to sepsis and death, so stock up on toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss. Finally, baby wipes are incredibly versatile for personal cleaning when a shower is impossible. These items aren't luxuries. They are frontline defenses against an invisible enemy. Assemble barter kits containing a mix of these supplies. A small bag with soap, a toothbrush, and some toilet paper will be more valuable than you can imagine. 4. Your personal pharmacy. The supply chains that deliver life-saving medications to your local pharmacy are incredibly complex and fragile. They will be among the first systems to break down completely. When they do, the steady flow of prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs will stop. Millions of people who depend on daily medication for chronic conditions will face a terrifying reality. Even those who are perfectly healthy will eventually need medical supplies for injuries, pain, or illness. You must become your own pharmacist and first responder. Waiting until you're sick or injured to find what you need is a plan for a slow and painful death. You need to build a comprehensive medical stockpile now, while you still can. This means covering everything from basic pain management to life-threatening infections. Start with the essentials. Ibuprofen is crucial for managing pain, inflammation, and fever. Acetaminophen is another key pain reliever. Antihistamines are vital for treating allergic reactions, which can appear unexpectedly from new foods or environmental exposures. Loperamide is essential for stopping diarrhea, which can quickly lead to deadly dehydration. Your first aid supplies must go beyond simple adhesive bandages. You need trauma shears, tourniquets for catastrophic bleeding, ample gauze, medical tape, and butterfly closures to seal wounds. Dehydration from exertion or illness will be a constant threat, so electrolyte powder is a must-have. For a true collapse scenario, you must consider antibiotics. Fish antibiotics, specifically amoxicillin, cephalexin, and metronidazole, are chemically identical to their human-grade counterparts and can be purchased legally without a prescription. A tube of silver solution gel should also be in your kit. Its powerful antimicrobial properties are effective against even antibiotic-resistant bacteria like MRSA. Finally, a simple daily multivitamin can prevent deficiency diseases like scurvy from taking hold. Building this stockpile is your responsibility, and it's one you cannot afford to ignore. 5. Maintaining morale and barter power. Survival isn't just a physical battle, it's a brutal psychological war. Your will to live can shatter long before your body gives out. In a world stripped of every modern convenience, small comforts become powerful anchors to your humanity. They provide a semblance of normalcy, a flicker of hope in the darkness, and a crucial defense against despair. Dismissing these items as luxuries is a naive and dangerous mistake. When the daily reality is a grim struggle for existence, the psychological boost from a hot cup of coffee or a moment of sweetness can be the difference between pushing forward and giving up. These items also transform into a new form of currency. When the financial system is a distant memory, people will trade desperately for the things that make life even slightly more bearable. Your stockpile of comfort items is not just for you. It's a strategic reserve of barterable assets. Cigarettes and alcohol will be in high demand. Even if you don't use them, their addictive nature makes them top-tier trade goods. A single carton of cigarettes could be worth a week's worth of food, and a bottle of liquor can be traded for valuable supplies or information. Alcohol also serves a dual purpose as a disinfectant for wounds or a potent pain reliever when medical supplies run low. Simple pleasures like coffee, tea, and sugar will become invaluable. The caffeine provides a needed energy boost for long watches or strenuous tasks, while the simple ritual of preparing a hot drink offers immense psychological comfort. Don't underestimate the power of hard candy. It's cheap, lightweight, lasts for years, and provides a quick burst of sugar and a moment of relief. Furthermore, your survival food will be bland and repetitive. A small collection of spices and seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic powder, hot sauce can make monotonous meals tolerable, which is critical for maintaining morale over the long term. Stockpile honey, as it never expires and has medicinal properties. And don't forget chocolate bars for their high energy content and mood-boosting effects. These aren't frivolous additions. They are essential tools for psychological resilience and economic leverage. 6. The tools of self-reliance. When the power grid fails permanently, your expensive power tools will become nothing more than heavy paperweights. The world will revert to one that runs on manual labor, and your ability to repair, build, and maintain your equipment will be paramount. Without the right tools, you are helpless. A simple broken item could spell disaster, and the inability to open a can of food could be a death sentence. Self-reliance is not a concept. It is a physical reality built on having the right implements to solve practical problems. Every task from fixing a leaking roof to mending a torn piece of clothing will fall to you. The modern convenience of calling a repairman or buying a replacement is gone. You are the repairman. You are the manufacturer. Your toolkit is your lifeline to sustainability in a broken world. The most critical tools are often the simplest. You must have several manual can openers. This $5 tool is the key to accessing the majority of your long-term food storage. Without it, your cans are just useless metal cylinders. Duct tape is another non-negotiable item. Its versatility is legendary for a reason. It can patch a tent, mend clothing, reinforce a splint, or even serve as a makeshift bandage in an emergency. A can of WD-40 will be worth its weight in gold for preventing rust on your tools and loosening seized mechanical parts. You will also need to maintain your clothing and gear. A basic sewing kit with needles, durable thread, and spare buttons will allow you to extend the life of your resources indefinitely. As you age, your eyesight will inevitably weaken. Stockpiling cheap reading glasses in various strengths is a crucial but often overlooked step that enables you to perform detailed repair work or read essential manuals. Finally, your most important tools, your knives and axes, are useless if they are dull. A good set of sharpening stones or files is essential to keep them functional. Build up a supply of fasteners like nails, screws, and bolts. Now, these small cheap items will be impossible to find and invaluable for any repair or construction project you undertake. 7. Farterm ansum inherency and central energy. In the coming darkness, power will be precious. The complete absence of electricity will plunge the world into a state not seen for over a century. Light, communication, and information will vanish for the unprepared. Your ability to generate and store even a small amount of power will give you a staggering advantage. It will allow you to work and travel safely after sunset, stay informed about developing threats, and maintain critical electronic devices. Those who can create their own power will be islands of light and knowledge in an ocean of darkness and ignorance. This capability extends beyond personal use. Offering to recharge someone's batteries or radio will become a valuable service, giving you another powerful bartering tool. Relying on the grid is a habit you must break now, and building a redundant off-grid power solution is not optional for serious long-term survival. Your power strategy begins with batteries. Stockpile alkaline batteries, which have a shelf life of 5 to 10 years, as well as more expensive lithium batteries for their longer life and superior performance in cold weather. For a truly sustainable solution, invest in rechargeable batteries and a quality solar charger. This combination provides a potentially infinite source of power as long as the sun shines. Your primary use for this power will be for light. High-efficiency LED flashlights and headlamps are essential. They use minimal power, last for thousands of hours, and are compact enough to carry everywhere. Hands-free headlamps are particularly vital, freeing your hands for work, navigation, or self-defense. Information is just as critical as light. An emergency radio, either battery-powered or hand-cranked, is your only link to the outside world, providing weather alerts and news. To power these devices, portable solar panels are a must. A small foldable panel can charge phones, battery packs, and radios, ensuring you never lose your connection to power. As a simple, no-fail backup, keep a supply of chemical glow sticks. They provide a safe, flameless light source that is perfect for marking trails or providing low-level illumination inside a shelter. 8. The unvarnished truth of preparation. Let's cut through the noise and focus on what matters. Your survival hinges on a clear-eyed assessment of reality and a commitment to taking action. The time for hypotheticals and casual interest is over. The fundamental priorities are brutally simple. You need clean water, the ability to make fire, methods to maintain sanitation, access to medicine, tools for repair, a source of power, and items to maintain morale. These are not separate categories. They are interconnected pillars of a holistic survival strategy. A failure in one area, such as hygiene, will inevitably lead to a crisis in another, such as medicine. You must address all of them with equal seriousness. The good news is that securing a foundational stockpile is not an insurmountable financial burden. A comprehensive starter kit covering all these bases can be assembled for less than $1,800. This is less than a single month's rent in many cities, or the price of a beaten-up used car. There is no excuse for inaction. Understand that in a world without a functioning economy, these stockpiled goods become the new currency. The value of $1 will be zero, but the value of a fire steel, a bottle of antibiotics, or a manual can opener will be immense. Your preparation is not just for your own survival, it is your economic foundation in a post-collapse society. Every item you store is an investment in a barter-based future. But all the knowledge in the world is useless without action. Reading articles, watching videos, and talking about preparedness accomplishes nothing. The only thing that matters is what you physically have in your possession when the crisis hits. Start today. Buy one extra can of food on your next grocery trip. Order a water filter online tonight. Put together a small first aid kit this weekend. Even the smallest steps taken consistently will make a significant difference. Intention does not fill an empty stomach or purify contaminated water. Only action will save you. The window to prepare is closing, and you cannot afford to be on the wrong side of it when it shuts. 9. The means of security. Let's get one thing straight. When the thin veneer of civilization is stripped away, your good intentions and sense of fairness will mean nothing. The most valuable resource you possess is your own life, and there will be desperate, violent people who will try to take everything you have. Your stockpile of food, water, and medicine makes you a target. Believing that you can reason with someone who is starving and watching their own family waste away is a lethal fantasy. The ability to defend yourself, your family, and your resources is not a secondary consideration. It is the foundation upon which all other preparations rest. Without security, your stockpile is just a future cache for a better armed, more ruthless survivor. You must have the means, the training, and the will to use decisive force to protect what is yours. This is not about aggression. It is about the cold, hard reality of survival. The police will not be coming. There will be no 911 to call. You are your own first and last line of defense. Ignoring this brutal truth is an invitation for tragedy. Your plan must include layers of security, from deterrence to a last-ditch capacity for lethal force. Thinking you can hide and hope for the best is not a strategy. It's a prayer, and it will go unanswered. You must become a hard target, an individual so costly to attack that predators will look for softer prey. This requires a mindset shift from passive citizen to active protector. The time to acquire the tools and skills for this is now, while they are still legal and available. Waiting until the crisis is upon you guarantees you will be outmatched and overrun. 10. Sustenance for the long haul. The canned goods in your pantry are a short-term fix, a buffer for a few weeks at most. A true collapse is not a temporary emergency. It is a permanent reset. To survive beyond the initial chaos, you need a food strategy built for the long haul. Your goal should be to have a supply of food that is measured in months, or preferably years, not days. This requires a focus on calorie-dense, shelf-stable foods that can be stored for decades without refrigeration. Forget brand names and fancy packaging. Your concern is purely nutritional value and longevity. The staples that have sustained civilizations for millennia will sustain you: rice, beans, wheat, oats, and pasta. When stored properly in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, these bulk foods can last for 30 years or more. They form the caloric backbone of your survival plan. This food is your life insurance. It gives you the time and energy to establish more sustainable food sources, like a garden, without the looming pressure of immediate starvation. Relying solely on foraging or hunting in a collapsed environment is a fool's errand. Game will be scarce, and every edible plant will be picked clean by the desperate masses. Your long-term food supply is what separates you from them. It frees you from the daily frantic search for calories and allows you to think strategically, to fortify your position, and to plan for the future. Assembling this supply takes time and effort, but it is one of the most critical investments you can make. Every bucket of rice you seal is another month of life you are guaranteeing for your family. 11. A lifeline of information. In a world without the internet and mass media, information will be the most valuable and scarcest commodity. Ignorance will be a death sentence. Knowing what is happening beyond your immediate location, the movements of hostile groups, the location of remaining resources, the outbreak of disease provides a massive strategic advantage. The ability to communicate with trusted allies, even over short distances, is equally critical. It allows for coordinated defense, the sharing of resources, and mutual support. Without communication, your group is an isolated island, vulnerable and blind. Relying on a cell phone is pointless. The networks will be down within hours. You need robust, off-grid communication methods that do not depend on any existing infrastructure. The most accessible and reliable option for short-range communication is a set of two-way radios, such as GMRS or ham radios. While ham radio requires a license and a greater degree of knowledge, it offers significantly longer range and a gateway to a community of other prepared operators. At a minimum, every member of your group should have a basic walkie-talkie and know how to use it, including communication protocols and code words to ensure your transmissions remain secure. For receiving information, a hand crank or solar-powered emergency radio is non-negotiable. It will allow you to pick up AM and FM and weather band broadcasts, which may be one of the few sources of wide-area information available. In a world of rumor and fear, the ability to receive credible intelligence and coordinate with your team is a lifeline that you cannot afford to be without. 12. The ultimate weapon: knowledge. You can have mountains of gear, but if you don't know how to use it, you're just a well-supplied corpse. The single most important item to stockpile is not a physical object, it is knowledge. Your brain is your ultimate survival tool, and the skills you possess are weightless, cannot be stolen, and will never run out of batteries. The time to learn is now, in an environment of safety and abundance, not when you are cold, hungry, and under stress. You must learn how to use every item in your stockpile effectively. Practice starting a fire in the rain with your ferro rod. Learn to purify water with bleach, and understand the proper dosage. Take a trauma first aid course and learn how to stop a catastrophic bleed. Go to a shooting range and become proficient with your defensive tools. Beyond using your gear, you need to acquire practical, hands-on skills. Learn basic carpentry, how to mend clothing, and how to identify edible and medicinal plants in your local area. A critical component of this is building a physical library of information. Download and print out manuals, field guides, medical texts, and repair diagrams. Laminate them or store them in waterproof binders. When the internet is gone, this physical data is irreplaceable. A book on gardening, a guide to knots, or a detailed anatomical chart could be the most valuable thing you own. Your preparation is incomplete until you have turned theory into practice and information into ingrained skill. Start today. Read a book, watch a tutorial, and then go outside and do it.